Hi, my name's Adam McKenzie and I'm the creator of Strong and Sexy. I'm also lucky enough to call myself a transformation specialist to women all around the world. And one of the questions that I often get asked, and one of the things that I have to explain to a lot of people, is how to measure weight loss. And when I talk about weight loss, I also want you to include fat loss in that, right? So don't just think weight. And often what a lot of us have been, pre-programmed to believe is that the only results that matter are on the scales. And I just want to break that myth right now, and let's have a look at what is really important to measure the results that you're getting for fat loss and weight loss, okay? And number one here is body fat in kilos. Lean muscle mass in kilos will give you your total body fat percentage, okay? So how much of your weight is weight in body fat and how much of it is weight in lean muscle mass. And you got to remember here that lean muscle takes up a lot less room than fat. So you often hear that muscle weighs more than fat. It's not really true. If you were 1 kilo of muscle and 1 kilo of fat, they're both 1 kilo. The main difference is the 1 kilo of muscle might be this big, the 1 kilo of fat might be this big. So it takes up a lot less room and it has metabolic benefits as well. All right, which means that you can burn more fat the more lean muscle you have. So you got to realize that. So when we're looking at fat loss and weight loss, it's not just what number is on the scales. If you weigh, let's say 70 kilos, and out of the 70 kilos, whatever percentage of that is fat in kilos versus fat in lean muscle mass will give you what your body fat percentage is. And what you got to realize is if your weight stayed exactly the same, but you dropped 4 kilos of body fat in kilos, you increased your lean muscle mass by 4 kilos, so you weigh the same amount, but your body fat percentage has just dropped significantly. You're now burning more body fat at rest because you've built lean muscle mass, and guess what? It's taking up less room because you just got rid of 4 kilos of fat. So you got rid of 4 of these and replaced them with 4 of these, okay? So it's taking up a lot less room and it's giving you more of a fat burning effect as well, which is awesome. Next thing here is you got measurements, okay? If you're not doing measurements, you're guessing, okay? If you're holding it in one of those body fat scale calculators or you're jumping on scales and it's measuring your body fat, it's lying to you. It's basing it on your body mass index, which is just height and weight versus an age and a calculation. It doesn't take lean muscle mass into account. It doesn't take your measurements into account. So how can, if I lose 4 of these massive things of fat, and I replace them with 4 of these little things of lean muscle mass, is that going to affect my measurements? Hell yeah. So I want to know how that affected me, because if I'm looking at the scale, it's telling me that I'm the same weight. But hang on, I just replaced 4 of those massive things with 4 of these little things. My measurements are going to change. I just got some awesome results. That's what I need to find out, and that's what I need to focus on. So that's where measurements are really important. They're a big part of looking at this overall picture. And you have to be measuring. Clothes, okay? We all say this, and I just want you to believe it. If you feel better in your clothes, okay, you're going to have great results. If it's a measurement too. And sometimes I have a few arguments with a few female clients where they'll say to me, you know, my jeans are tighter. They're tighter, they fit around my legs tighter than they ever used to before. And I go, okay, cool, let's do a measurement. Let's measure your legs. And whenever I measure their legs, they're always significantly smaller than they used to be. The difference is now there's lean muscle mass on their legs where they used to be fat. And lean muscle mass is harder. It's not going to compress into those jeans the same way fat used to. Fat will squash and move around a little bit more. It's a little bit more pliable. And often I find that, you know, you've been squeezing into things and not realizing just how tight you've been in there because you can't feel it half the time because there's so much covering your leg. And I don't want to get into that too much, but just realize that if you're not tracking measurements and you're not having a look at what size you are, pants, clothes, tops, bra, whatever it might be, then you're not looking at the overall picture. You're still focusing on the scales. And last one here is the mirror. Okay, and the mirror is a great test because the mirror is twofold. The mirror is going to give you a picture of exactly where you are. It's just what's in front of you. Your mirror is going to reflect back what's in front of you. Okay? And it's also going to let you know how you see you. So how do you look at yourself right now? What's your self-image like? What's your assessment? And do you believe that you're improving? And how do you feel when you look in the mirror? Do you go, "Ugh, I don't want to look at that anymore"? Or you're starting to go, do you know what? I'm looking a bit better. That shape that I wanted to have through there is better. I'm starting to get that midsection coming back in. I'm getting rid of the block. And look at it visually, because visually, clothes, measurements, working out my body fat percentage properly will give you the entire picture. If you don't look at the entire picture and you're just jumping on the scales and going, oh my God, I didn't lose any weight this week, and then you start feeling bad, you go out, you have an emotional binge eating session, whatever it might be, you're not measuring properly your progress. You're not working out exactly how well you've done and how far you've come. And you need to do that to feel confident, to gain momentum with what you're doing, to be able to go, do you know what, this is working, let's keep pushing, let's stay committed, let's bring it to the next session, let's raise my intensity. Whatever it might be, this is a big factor of why a lot of people give up, because they don't measure it properly. They stay stuck on the word weight and scales, and they don't have the proper systems in place to be able to go, do you know what, I need to work out where I am, I need to work out how I'm feeling, so that I have a starting point and I have then the ability to set a goal. And it's a big part of what we teach everyone in our Strong and Sexy programs. And we give you the tools to be able to do every single one of these and see them visually. And then we'll set some goals and move forward towards the next target and then measure again, so that we can work out exactly how well everything that you've done has benefited you and given you the results that you wanted. So concentrate on the whole picture, not just the weight, and go into every day full of passion, joy, and commitment to achieve everything that you can.